Hello everyone, this is Ninja DC, joining again from the React video, this time for My Little Pony Season 8, Episode 20. At least I think so, unless it gets weird with the episode order because of all the leaks. Joining me again is a herd of bronies.
Hello, ponies. I'm a herd of bronies. Welcome back to Let's Watch Season 8.
Next up, Carlos.
I'm a picky penguin. I'm a picky penguin. Picky penguin support. This is Gunmetal Gator saying, I am so happy to be an Nico B fan. Just love that man to death.
Nico.
Oh yeah, and also this episode, I am very much anticipating this one for a long time.
Really?
Yes.
Wonder why.
Never build something up ahead of time.
True that.
Next up, Jenn.
Hello, everyone. This is Jen, ready to watch Season 8. In the laptop. Why are you betraying me? Why does my laptop betray me? You were right second about not getting things built up. Like everyone said, get a 2018 Mac. It'll be fun, they said.
As Rick Moranis once said, even in the future, nothing works.
Perfect.
Oh, Jen, I forgot to ask, did you get the silver or did you get the gray silver?
Hang on. Let me look at what I got here. It's gray, it's silverish. What did I get? Silver. Yes, silver. I got silver.
All right. Just curious. All right, next up, second and data lover.
Yay, second day away.
Welcome. Take your shoes off. Stay a while. And remember, it's fine by me if you never leave. And we can lay like this forever. It's fine by me. Hey.
Yay.
Excuse me a minute, I'm gonna go get my insulin. That was too sweet.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel very out of character right now.
No, you sound pretty in character to me.
You make me jealous. You make me jealous of the type of synergy you two have.
Need a room, you kids!
That was so sweet. Alexa, play Despacito.
All right. But, see, sort of make myself...
Better than Despacito.
And,
Siri, play Cardi B. I like it.
But before we begin to give some more,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was saying, before we begin our episode, some more news that depresses me somewhat as a single. Congratulations to our other React member, John, who is now engaged.
Yes!
Yay!
Yes! Congratulations! Yes! I saw the video. I saw the video of the proposal. It was so sweet. It was so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But congratulations, John!
He certainly
And
does deserve
Cassie!
it.
We're gonna be expecting wedding fan art.
Ooh.
Pretty cool.
Aw, too bad I don't have my pen drawing thing.
I know just where I can get it.
All right. Is everyone ready, though?
Oh,
Let's see,
yeah.
Let me find the episode. Hold on, where is it? There it is here. Oh no!
Oh, yeah, I'm just heads up, you're having trouble finding the episodes. I think that link I got was from the Australia feed because it's dated a few weeks older. So it might show up later in your downloads.
Okay.
It's from down there.
Okay, I got it. I got the episode up. Everybody else?
Yay.
Does everyone have it up?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Everyone press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh, yes. Remember this callback? Oh, this
Like
is
the same
literally
face.
Yep.
Made well part 2s.
Huh.
A lot of questions.
What?
What?
Oh no!
It's you,
that looks
Scootaloo.
cool.
What?
And also, Captain America works for Hydra now.
Yay!
I think that
Did she
also.
say the? Did she say the washouts?
Yes.
Yeah, the washouts.
That's literally the title of the episode.
Oh,
I like the
okay.
color though.
It's washed out.
So yeah, Scootaloo betraying Rainbow Dash.
Yay!
Oh dear.
Ain't it so wacky?
This is sounding like the end of times.
Scootaloo not fawning over Rainbow Dash.
Oh.
The washouts. Okay.
Ooh.
It's her fan
When are
club.
you gonna tell?
Come on, Rainbow.
When...
Okay, I am
Yeah,
so
the real-
burnt
yeah,
on these cheeseball interactions where everybody is entire character consists of just these cardboard ham-fisted reactions.
Ooh.
You've been
Oh,
joining
wow.
other aminos? How could you?
Only
It's Scootaloo abandoning her oldest and dearest character trait because teenager and episode of the week and conflicts and stuff. So wacky.
Maybe. You had one for Sweetie Belle as well, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I really like the interactions so far.
yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
you're cute.
started out like, oh, I was just in the neighborhood, but what are you doing like that? It was as stale as
Oops.
3-week-old bread, but I mean,
Guys. Uh-oh.
what's up?
Where are you on right now?
312.
Sorry. Sorry, I accidentally
15.
wait, can you pause for a second? Are you at 312?
Everyone go back to 3,
Sorry.
exactly.
Sorry, I tried to turn the volume up and it went too far ahead. Let me try.
Alright, everyone go back
My
to
bad.
3.
Rewatching.
Right, so we go to my bad.
So, a really
Jeez,
weird
stupid volume.
picture of Rainbow Dash with wings and things
Okay, I'm at 3.
Alright, is everyone ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Got it.
Okay, but the second half of it, like what we were saying, it felt like the follow-up to a first act that we didn't see.
Oh boy, do we have something of insanity here?
Yeah, Scootaloo wanting to move on to new things and
Scootaloo's growing up.
asking Rainbow Dash to understand and all that. Like, yeah, it seems like there could have been like a first act to that in which that would have fit. As is, it's kind of like, yeah, this is the conflict we want to do. It's very sad. She do still have Rainbow Dash. We don't care. Next.
Okay.
And who wrote this episode, actually?
Nick Confalone.
Oh,
Oh, no.
nice.
Oh boy.
Yay.
No.
Ouchies.
Well,
Come on, say it.
well, that fits to a T with how ham-fisted it is so far.
Oh my gosh, she turned sunset. Oh my gosh, she turned Sunset Shimmer into cupcakes. She's at it again.
I want those cupcakes.
She turned Sunset Shimmer into cupcakes. Oh my god, she's at it again.
What are we sitting on?
Rainbow Dash! Every audience sits on blue chairs.
Whoa.
She's
Hey.
too used to sitting on clouds.
Oi. Rainbow Dash, everybody eats popcorn.
Oh,
This
hey,
really
look,
is a
someone's
McCunflone
Oh,
episode.
this looks nice. Who is it? Ah! Pinkie Pie.
I'm sorry.
approved.
Did they say this is the Washouts?
Yes.
Might want to check your grammar on that.
Yeah.
They washed out of grammar class.
No.
Yeah.
Burn. Am I the only one that's thinking of Jackass right now?
No, you're not. I'm thinking of it too.
A little bit.
Well, this
more
one,
like-
it looks like, yeah,
maybe
they're supposed to
this
be
is a little bit more
successful.
extreme.
All that
Yeah.
needs is there is like a pony that says like, "Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and welcome to Jackass."
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is more of
the
this
canon.
reminds me of like
Well,
extreme sports.
yeah, like these guys are supposed to come
X
out looking
Games.
cool.
or
not
Ninja Warrior,
like
or Ninja
jackasses.
Warrior,
Yeah, or
It's
Evil
more like Evil
Knievel.
Knievel.
Yeah, hey, I see.
or better yet, Ninja Warrior
Oh.
or something.
Ooh. This is like Trixie's Magic Show, but more
Yeah.
actiony.
Well, now Rainbow
one of
Dash
them is
understand.
Trixie.
Oh,
Okay,
really?
well, I mean, I hope the whole plot is not going to be Rainbow Dash trying not to admit that she likes these guys.
Well, from knowing one
Sad,
plot
though.
point.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Oh.
Okay, so that's not going to be the whole plot.
Oh, haven't heard that one a long time.
And they don't care.
Oh my gosh, she's so happy.
No, I mean literally, join the club. We're called the Washouts because we all used to be Wonderbolts just like you.
What?
Oh,
There you go.
Oh.
Name's Rolling Thunder. I got booted from Wonderbolt Academy because of flagrant disregard for hazardous weather. If doing
Ooh.
over 900 million volts of electricity in a raging thunderstorm is wrong, then I am one of your own.
Oh my god. She has an Australian accent.
oh.
All right,
Okay.
just in case you forgot, this was a Nick Confalone episode.
Feeling a little from inside out here.
Why do I get the feeling?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
They're going to battle up who's going to be the parent now for
Lightning
Scootaloo.
dust.
Mm. Oh. Scootaloo, don't you remember the last season in which you talked about
She
Wonderbolts
doesn't.
Academy?
She doesn't.
She never even was in the Wonderbolts. She was just a
Yeah.
cadet.
Mm-hmm.
They
Oh. Oh.
She's got a point there.
The unsure laugh.
He's a little too happy about that.
Yeah.
Oh. Mm.
okay. Like
And it almost killed every pony. That's great.
Lightning Dust went from like reckless to a sociopath in the last episode, so I don't know. It seems like they're kind of trying to go somewhere in between.
Oh my
Oh
god.
no, no,
And
no.
there's the moral.
Yeah.
Oh, getting her to the dark side, are you?
Uh-oh.
You're in the dark side. Yeah,
So,
cookies.
frenemies or full-blown enemies?
Ooh,
Oh.
Scootaloo likes that.
It's sort of like
Oh,
pre-cold
boy.
fish. Yeah, that pony has a lot of charisma and character.
Which one?
The purple one.
The Australian one?
Yes.
The Thunderbolt.
Yeah, the group is, well, heck, the whole group is a cool idea. It's like,
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Face. Oh, okay, she has rules. That's good.
that, and you're a kid, and, okay, like, even if you are an orphan, there's someone's permission you would have to get.
Yeah.
Mm.
So we're going to the Wonderbolts Academy. Yay.
Dealing with your teenage daughter.
Like, because growing up in conflict at the weekend and stuff.
Oh, that sounds bad.
Wait a minute, I think I know this.
Well, la-di doo da.
That sounds familiar, right? Second.
Yeah.
Oh my
In
god.
a van down by the river.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
A
it.
Matt Foley reference.
Have you tried it before, Spitfire?
What is this?
What in the world?
They're going full force.
I'm sorry, but is this episode already reaching to the point of like, I'm honestly getting more entertained by this episode than the past few seasons Wonderbolt episodes?
It's
Yeah,
possible.
maybe.
What was
That
the
bar
last
is not
one?
really high.
Newbie
I
Dash.
mean, the one with the Wind Whistler, the Sky Stinger, that was alright.
Like
I mean,
Spitfire, I think Spitfire overdid it a little bit.
I mean,
Yeah, well,
ironically, I think the best Wonderbolt episode, if you count, is the one with Lightning Dust. If you count it as a Wonderbolt episode.
Maybe. I don't know what the competition even is.
I mean, like
Trying to
the only
remember.
episode you mentioned was
Well,
like
okay, if you count Sonic Rainboom, I think that's the clear winner.
I mean, well, I meant more as like being a member of Wonderbolts.
Yeah.
Aw. No, Rainbow Dash. Don't.
wow.
Yeah.
This is too much.
Rainbow is so inconsiderate.
Oh no, not the
You
decal.
can take out
Wow.
you can take out a sticker like that.
Yeah, that's a decal.
Yeah,
Waka
she's gone.
waka waka.
He's
Oh
gone.
my god.
Hey, look, it's that
Ow.
baby from that Mare-to-Well episode. Oh.
Twilight likes the washouts.
Wow, Twilight actually getting interested in this. Mm.
Teenagers love.
Yep,
like,
it's
drama
like
and
your
danger.
your teenage child.
Literally rock and metal when it came to overprotective parents who were saying like it's corrupting the youth.
Yeah.
I mean, they're making it more about like Rainbow Dash's ego and like kind of like in the way it was back in non-compete clause, just like more for effect than anything else. Like,
Alex. What sound effect?
Oh my
so
god.
wacky, wacky.
No.
What the heck? Oh my god.
Poor sandwich.
So angry.
Maybe short fuse and Palm Occult ought to like talk to each other.
Yeah. Or anger from inside out. From that guy. Oh no, yeah.
Oh
Okay.
no,
Yeah.
Scootaloo has defected.
But she
Trying
can't
to dark
fly.
type Scootaloo.
What are you
Okay,
doing?
you forgot the part about why some kid who with no experience is someone you need in your group and your first recruit.
Let me guess. You'll be in a full body
Oh, she actually did that.
Waka waka waka. Yuck.
She knew it. She had heard that before. Yeah, I had a feeling about that.
And now it's a scene like this.
Okay.
Well, you know,
Scootaloo.
she's kind of got a point there.
Yeah.
It sounds dangerous still, though.
It's like,
oh.
Ooh.
your own fool and you have to make your own decisions. Good. Because I already have.
Ooh.
and I mean, honestly, this episode is like the right material with the wrong delivery. Like, Scootaloo, honestly, I feel like she's barely been a presence in this so far. She's been playing mostly the same note the whole time, including since the beginning, which is why I said it feels like there's a first act we didn't get to see.
Maybe.
Watch out for the dust, because it's lightning!
Newest member of the Washouts will be rocket sledding down that hill, up that ramp, and over all 22 ways.
Oh.
But honestly, like last time, I will say, Lightning Dust does kind of have a charisma.
Yeah. In One Piece, that's for sure.
That's not a bad nickname.
Oh, Applejack doesn't seem worried.
It's no more demeaning than Short Fuse.
Oh.
Oh,
Can I call you Sweetie Pie? Can I call you Frank? So Frank.
Can I call you Shirley?
Bob.
Who cares
Oh
about practice?
boy.
No, yeah.
Who cares about tests?
Noticed, yeah.
Okay, are they? Actually,
They're going to push it. They're going to push it to the brim.
okay. This is kind of exactly how Lightning Dust went out the first time, which is, okay, we need her to be the bad guy now. Let's.
It seems
Forget
this
about-
episode like it's trying to pull off like 2-3 different morals at once, and they're not really working
Yeah.
well together.
Yeah.
That might be a good way to put it. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh my god.
And Rainbow Dash comes in to save her at the
Jump
last second.
No.
There she comes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Aw. That's so cute. Mm-hmm. Oh! Bye-bye.
Team Rocket's crossing off again.
So now you're going to end in the full hoop test, right? Bringing forth all.
Well,
It's
I
so
mean,
dark.
unless it drags her back down too. Yeah. Again, it's just like the first time, like Lightning Dust was a morally gray character who, like, I mean, she was wrong, but like there were reasons not to, or to consider her Rainbow's friend, and then like once again, like at the last minute, from that to sociopath.
That's so cute, though. No, Scootaloo fan club. Yeah.
All right, this is just
Aw.
cheesy.
Yes.
Well, yeah, Scootaloo hasn't really like done anything to
She did
get a
some
fan
tricks
club.
and stuff like that. And she learned her lesson.
I mean, like I could buy a Rainbow Dash and a couple of Rainbow Dash's friends doing this for Scootaloo, but like Scootaloo actually catching on as a fan club. I mean, why?
You'd be surprised. You'd be so surprised at who would actually consider that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, granted, you hype up some random person. Like if Charlie Zelenoff can presumably have a fan club, sure, Scootaloo can, but it's the same fan club that specifically was rallying around Rainbow Dash, who, has, heck, since the day we met her, at least been a promising talent in, like, who'd been making a name for herself. Scootaloo, I mean, as far as we've seen, at least, including in this episode, really hasn't.
Yeah, but I think it's just like a symbolic gesture of like you don't need to idolize over me. Just be a fan of yourself. Like be like self-empowerment.
Yeah.
This is another way of saying, like everything else in this episode, it's the right idea with the wrong delivery.
Well, here's my, like I was saying before, like I feel this episode, the problem is not focused enough, where it feels like there's 2 or 3 different morals going on at once and they don't really work together. Like one moral is about Rainbow Dash needing to like basically having like keep making new friends but keep Discord sort of like thing. Was like, hey, it's okay for like someone who admires you to admire someone else sort of thing. To not like your own ego like hurt someone else's like upset, that sort of plot line. Then there was a plot line about the whole like motivation of the washouts, where like, hey, we failed Wonder Boats, we're still doing our own thing. Like we're not conventional fired, we can do our own thing and all that. Then there's like the third moral, which is about safety, about how like, oh, you can't you have to like can't be too risky at the same time. Like you have to be careful what you do so you don't end up in a full body cast sort of stuff. And they don't really work well together.
Like, really, and underneath all of them is a better moral, a better point. Like what Rainbow Dash instead of the whole "but my ego," like if it were about her like actually feeling like she's not Scootaloo's idol anymore. If it was more about the personal relationship between them, that could have been stronger. The relationship with Lightning Dust and Rainbow Dash. I mean, heck, I could have done a whole episode about them being frenemies and not like, hey, maybe Lightning Dust isn't so bad. Oh, she is. Like, no, heck, make them, I don't know, Doofenshmirtz and Perry the Platypus. Give them a frenemies relationship. I think that'd make for a ton of fun. It already did for like the minute we got it.
Here is my like how I feel this episode would work better. One, cut the like Rainbow Dash's ego plot. Just like maybe keep 1 or 2 jokes about being like, oh, it's ego, but it's more about her concern about Scootaloo. And like just cut that part out. That frees up like a third of the episode. 2, change the ending where Lightning Dust doesn't intend to put Scootaloo in danger, but she still does because of the way she's conducting herself with this thing. And at the end of the day, she still tries to save Scootaloo too. So it becomes like, oh yeah, we can do these stunts, but we do need to do some safety with it. That way she's not just a complete d-bag. Like, because she goes from being like relatable, it's like, oh yeah, like to being like, oh, let's just strap a little kid to a giant rocket. Nothing wrong can happen from there.
What could go wrong?
Actually, the Team Rocket comparison is kind of apt because now they basically blasted her out of the episode until the next time they want to use her as a villain.
That was such a almost appropriate exit for Lightning Dust.
Yeah, I just want to put out this feels like what the show's MO is for like villains or sort of like characters that were morally gray, like sort of like going into like the villain role, like Flim and Flam, like from their appearance. Like at first, it was like people were questioning about like, oh, was it morally right for Applejack or like Randy Smith to like put their farm up and like in a deal that they offered because they wanted to steal their business and such. And at the time, the fandom was just quite split on that until much later on when they were shown as clear-cut villains. And I feel like that has kind of like been happening here again. And it's not specifically like Lightning does. It's just more of like a show with like its antagonists. Like, I mean, Trixie went through the same thing back in season 6. But instead of like what happened with Trixie, it's like Lightning is like, oh, I'm just gonna be like very much like ruthless, and it's like almost mimicking like Wonderbolt's writing of Lightning. Does like, okay, maybe I'm just going a bit too far at some things. I just wanted to be fast. I'll keep up the pace here. Are you cadets? Or are you guys just lollygagging until the end? It's like, ooh, I made an oopsie with a tornado and nearly killed all of Rainbow Dash's friends. And I don't even care about them at all. It's like, it's like even with the new writers, they seem to repeat the same flaw that the old writers went through, or maybe they were just like, okay, we have to do this like this because that's how the old writers did it with this character, and it's just like,
to be fair, that might be sins of the father kind of thing.
Oh my god!
I'm also wondering, the others doesn't mind these things happening to Scootaloo. The only one that seems to care is Rainbow Dash.
Yeah, and it's like
it's a little weird.
No, it's not weird because like one, we don't have any on-screen presence of any Guardian figures or anything like that. Only Rainbow Dash adopted like that sort of trait to take care of Scootaloo, aside from her idolizing her. And it's like, it makes sense for her to be the one through this conflict because it's like, yeah, it's like still feeling like that theory of like, Scootaloo's a pony orphan, Scootaloo's a pony orphan, when we already have an actual orphan in the series now. Yeah, and it's just, yeah, it's like, your parents don't even care about you. Like, oh, you're doing this risk because you're just autonomous by yourself and such.
Yeah, if Scootaloo does have parents, they are the worst parents in the history of. Well, no, they're not, but they're the worst parents we've seen in Equestria.
I don't know about that either. Like, we got some.
I mean, Spoiled Rich is, well, heck, she was meant to be the new Butt Monkey character, so we would be mad at her and not Diamond Tiara. But okay, she probably would have if Diamond Tiara was like risking life and limb to join the Washouts. She probably would have said, "Get away from those low-life ruffians at once."
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, my head canon is that one of the adult ponies, besides Rainbow Dash's parents, is one of them at least is Scootaloo's parents. So I'm going with the unicorn guy because that would explain why she also can't fly because.
Yeah, didn't it get confirmed a while ago that she was living with her aunts or something?
Oh yeah, back in season 4 with like Flight to the Finish, and but it's like even then the aunt is being like one of the worst parents right now. Yeah, we've never seen anyone. We just only heard a rambling of that. That was really it.
I mean, to be fair, look how long it took us to get the actual Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy's parents.
Yeah,
this is true.
Which, by the way, we had a cameo, and then see that cameo at the end of the episode, which I'm like, actual strong continuity here. I respect that.
Yeah, for some reason this show does not like families.
No.
Except for the Apple family.
Right, that's the only family they only focus on. That's
like early on, I kind of thought the idea was like but early on I kind of thought the idea was how this is in many ways sort of an old world, and the concept of a teenager is still a fairly modern one. Like, back in heck even the last century, which we've only been in the new one for 18 years, like halfway through the last century, I think childhood was still kind of a sink or swim proposition. You did have to be willing to do an adult's work at points very on, and that kind of seems like what they were going for, that like, just because by today's standards we would label them kids doesn't mean that that's the role they're like best suited to play. But then like now I guess they're like well, not only does it seem like they want the whole they've grown up plot, and I have my own feelings about how that went, but that aside, so like now that they've gone there, like okay, they've really grown up, they've inherited the roles of princess of friendship and friends. We may as well do plots with the parents. I mean, that's a whole untapped bit of potential. We could drag them in for a couple of episodes, couldn't we?
Yeah.
So.
We could try to make Fluttershy's brother a relatable and not a horrible character.
Try to make him a character who has totally always been there.
Yeah, not just be like, oh, let's not see his progress as like a somewhat striving, like a working Pegasi. Let's forget about his existence after this episode at the beginning of Sassy Shy.
Yeah, but something I really do like about this episode was the place where Scootaloo goes like, well, I can't fly, so I have to know something else.
I feel that should have been the center of like the moral they picked with the episode.
Yeah.
Okay, and I mean, like, there are people who are watching this, like, just seeing, a relationship episode between Rainbow and Scootaloo, one where the relationship changes, and are listening to us here and, like, all but pissed off. Like, why are you not going into? Would you quit being wet blankets and up yours? And to be fair, this is in many ways a great idea. Scootaloo finds something she can excel at, and it doesn't include Rainbow Dash. That has a boatload of great stuff you can do with it, and they do a couple of things with it in this episode. The moment between Scootaloo and Rainbow Dash there, where Rainbow Dash swallows her pride and Scootaloo doesn't say thank you for it, instead says, yeah, that's right, you better swallow your pride, and who also says, like, this is my chance and stuff to do something awesome. And
thing is
that those couple of moments really work. It's just like they're also packed into an episode that cares more, or cares at least as much about Rainbow Dash redecorating Scootaloo's treehouse so she can get back to stroking her ego as fast as possible, and complaining that the Washouts stole the idea for bleachers and popcorn.
I feel like this episode. Oh, sorry.
I was just trying to say is well, I didn't mind a bleacher joke. I just felt like everything that was leading up to is like that plot line should have been a lot shorter. Where like Rainbow Dash's ego just should have been like a quick thing, and then moving on to the main thing. And also, like, I was gonna say, like, well, this like could have been great with the moral, like, I can't do what you can do, but I can still do this. Would have really worked for this episode, because like basically fans have theorized before Scootaloo got her cutie mark. The theorized that she'll be like a stunt like Scoot driver. Like that's why everyone was like, that was a huge fan theory for like years. So essentially, like have like her doing those stunts. And the show's like, oh yeah, this makes perfect sense why she'll go for that. And then it's sort of like at the end of the day, just sort of throw it away. He's like, oh, well, okay then.
Yeah, it's really like a huge detractor for like the what if after the series ends for Scootaloo, because like that's clearly her career path. But it's like, but the way that we can rectify it is if by season 9, if they have her do like the compromise between both routes, and have her start doing like the stunt themes, but like model after the Wonderbolts, sort of make like a ground troop, which might even include some Earth ponies or unicorns and the like, for like a more inclusive stunt group, then I can definitely see it working.
Or if they, at the end of the day, didn't have Lightning Dust still be a jerk. Like,
yeah, just be like, hey, yeah, that's my copyrighted material. Oh, see.
I actually think like she's going to be the protector of Light, but I have my own theories.
God dang it. Speaking of copyrighted material, Voltron got blocked.
No.
Right when you said the combat material.
I'm sorry, Derek. I'm sorry.
Aw.
Yeah.
It still matches every.
There
Like,
you're snuffing
But
SOPs.
I was actually thinking about something really bad to do to make the episode better.
Oh,
Yeah. Actually hurting Scootaloo.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait. That I was actually thinking
having
about the same
Scootaloo
thing.
actually get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't like that, and I don't think like they're going to do that to a fault though.
Well, that could be like, I mean, I don't know if the show, does pathos like that, but yeah, like, okay, Rainbow Dash steps aside willingly, Scootaloo, goes for it, like, alright, I'm gonna do something awesome now, and then gets hurt, and then, like, sees her dreams literally crash in front of her, and then, like, maybe she and Rainbow Dash has to help her work back up. I mean, that would have some potential, to be sure.
Yeah, but I feel like in the way like these writers would do, they wouldn't go that far. And I'm like,
What's the closest we've had to that?
yeah, it's
We
like the
had,
closest.
Rainbow Dash hurt, like
Well, Rainbow
the
Dash broke her
hospital.
wing, but
Yeah.
that was more like comedy, and well,
yeah.
heck, that was like
And
another
we had-
day on the
and we
job
had-
for Rainbow.
And we had Twilight in a wheelchair, but that was more
That
like
was 100% comedy.
yeah.
So like somebody crashing and burning. Well, they have. I mean, we had like Pinkie Pie's collapse in Pinkie Pride, but I didn't
Pinkie
buy
Pie.
that for a
Yeah.
second.
No.
I mean, I actually, I bought it a lot more in Party of One, and I guess that would be maybe the more apt comparison, just like somebody feeling really shot down.
But I have to admit about this episode. At the very least, we can all agree that it's the top 5 of season 8, right?
I think so too. There is.
No.
I think it could be. I think it could be. There is one
I
little
don't
thing.
see.
There is one thing that I think they could have missed a little bit that I wish they could have expanded more on this.
I mean,
it's pretty much Scootaloo is growing up. Scootaloo is growing up. I don't know. Maybe I agree a little bit about it. Like, executed the wrong way, but part of me was like, I don't know. I think there could have been a better way to show that. Well, I don't know. Maybe there wasn't any other better way to show that, when she's growing up. Actually, no, wait. The one perfect moment where she's growing, where she openly admits she can't fly. That kind of hurt. That kind of hurt to see. But it kind of hurt to see. It was like, oh my gosh, she just admitted it. She's admitted it, and she's come to terms with. She's come to terms.
No. She never did it before. She never did it before.
She never openly said it. She never openly said it. She was always trying to overcome it. She's always trying to overcome it. But now she has said it in bold. She said it pretty passionately, like, I can't fly. So I'm like, wow.
Doesn't that go against her character though?
No.
I don't think it does. I think it shows. I think it doesn't. I think it shows that she's. It shows that she's growing. That she's growing up, and it goes with the path that maybe that she's accepting. That she's accepting like her what she's got now.
But I mean, she's taken like a lot of effort in the past to overcome it, and now she's just gonna throw that away and admit, "Oh, I can't fly." I guess.
No. Okay,
Well,
Alex, listen. It's like the attempts that she tried to do in Flight to the Finish. That was her like trying to like say like improve herself within like a time crunch about like flying and just overall like exhausting herself like mentally and physically to the point of like, are you gonna be okay for the equestrian games like cheerleading tryouts?
I don't know about like unpacking an episode to like, oh, we'll see, she's built up to this point, but I mean, I do feel like the last time we left Scootaloo on that note, it was more like well, I guess Flight to the Finish would be the big one. If we were on a note of like bittersweet acceptance of it almost. So I mean, I guess like the only explanation we would have then from there to here is okay, passage of time. Now that you have bittersweet acceptance too, like okay, it sucks, but we're past that by this point, and
yeah,
that's and honest, I guess.
And
Well, the one
she's also taking all of those grown-up, things she wants to do.
I don't know about. I mean, you could probably spin all that one way or another. I guess just like for me, it's just mostly the fact that for the note we were on with her last time, I can accept passage of time as the reason she's at the place she is in this episode.
So you wouldn't really call that a gap in character development?
Well, like we've gone from what was it, flight to the finish. Like, what if my wings never get me off the ground? Okay, but you're all kinds of awesome anyway. And then, okay, I guess we've seen her wish for it a couple of times since then. But like, so I mean, like, what's the character development that you think is missing from there to here? Just like
I don't know,
saying, like, I'm still awesome, even though I can't. Just like something like that.
I think it's good for her to admit it, yeah.
Actually, come to think of it, like even in this episode, she doesn't really completely get the. You know what? I do believe I'm awesome. Like, if they wanted to do that, they could. They probably still could.
But Alex, to give you like a potential in between, maybe we could have had like an episode of Scootaloo just being like downtrodden, like seeing like I don't know, like I feel like I'm just like an earth pony, but a weaker earth pony who can't even do anything because these wings are useless. Like maybe like an episode.
I guess so.
It's like that's the only thing I could think of that could possibly fit that. Aside from that, it's like the I can accept this like sudden shift of like I can't fly. As one is like it's a Nick Confalone move of like just being blatant about like certain things for like dramatic event, but at the same time, it's literally shattering the illusion of like everything's gonna be okay. This is gonna get fixed, right? No.
Actually, come to think of it, anybody else kind of wish somebody else had written this episode?
No.
I do.
What was the question? What was the question?
He wanted
wish
to
somebody else had maybe written this episode.
Do I wish someone wrote it?
Someone else would write this episode that wasn't Connect Confalone.
You know what? I truly can't answer that. I truly can't answer that because I don't know who could and if it would even be better. So
I mean,
jury's out for me.
I kind of need a refresher. What else is Nick Confalone screwed up?
Let's see.
He did the mod couple this season.
Okay, yeah.
The original Yak episode.
You don't need to say anymore. You got me at mod couple.
He's responsible for sticking the mud.
Yes, he's responsible for.
I mean, like,
no!
Well, like,
no! Second, calm day down. Calm day down. I cannot take the evil giggling. I cannot take the evil.
Where were we though? I mean, yeah, Nick Confalone, like his strength is always stick in the mud. Oh boy, it keeps getting worse.
Stick in the mud.
Yeah, I mean, the thing he does has almost always been like for better and for worse. Just like sort of burlesque and not the R-rated definition of that word, but yeah, just played up, fun-loving sort of episodes. And I mean, he doesn't even seem to care, structuring a story to build a perfectly planned out arc from beginning to end. That never ever seemed like a top concern of his, even in his best episodes, really. So I mean, yeah, an episode where the greatest strength is the serious relationship between Scootaloo and Rainbow Dash really just feels like a bad fit for him.
Yeah. It's like, honestly, it's like I feel like Nick Confalon's greatest strength right now is just focus on the side characters, maybe not go with like the main characters because he doesn't do so hot. Just, I mean, like Break Up Break Down was one of the better episodes of season 8. And that was his one.
And like when he latches onto something, I mean, he seems to look for any and every excuse to have like over the top fun with characters. And when he latches onto something that is kind of inherently over the top and fun about a character, it seems like he at least manages to bring something to the table. But I mean, yeah, then you get Mod couple where like he's decided Mod is one of the funniest characters on the show because of how far we can push the she's bland and yeah.
There's somebody there's a male version of her. That's absolutely annoying.
Or she's bland and she doesn't get it. And you know what? I bet that I can push that even farther. I bet I can make her even crazier or even more straight faced in the face of over the top. I mean,
so yeah,
I'll bat, and I guess I'm trying to. I hate the fact that I'm having to call back Mod couple right now, but it seemed like just as much as anything, Pinkie Pie was his quote unquote secret weapon in that episode. Like
yeah.
How far can we push her?
So he didn't have a secret weapon in this episode? That's what you're saying?
I don't know what I was trying to say. I mean,
I feel like this episode premise was really good. The fact that it was just mishandled badly, yet at the same time, it's like that good premise was strong enough for me to say, like, I consider this a good episode, but I just can't even put it, like, anywhere above that because, like, great would mean you know what you're doing. This is a good episode on the concept of its concepts and its content, really. Just
maybe
it mishandled a lot. It mishandled a lot of the stuff, but I guess I did have a lot more fun with this episode than a lot of season 8. So it's a resurgence of like the good and the strong bad qualities you can find in an episode. It's just really what's your hankering, really. I can't even go as far as say it's controversial in that nature. Not in the way of like, oh, it has some sort of like a political in charge something. It's just it has an equal amount of good and an equal amount of bad. And yeah.
I wasn't cutting you off. That's continue more.
Oh yeah. And for like Nick Confalone, just looking back, like he was like a decent writer back in season 5 and 6, but after that, no, it's only like 2 episodes out of like the last 4 episodes that he's written that I find to be like quite enjoyable, and he had a better track record earlier. And it's like, and all of this involves like characters that he's written for. Like he's done Rainbow Dash before in like Saddle Row Review. He's done Pinkie Pie and Heartbreakers.
Rainbow Dash, she wasn't exactly the biggest player in Saddle Row Review. She was one of many.
One of many, yeah. But aside from that, it's just like he's done solidly with like Discord Spike and Big Mac, which that seems to be a running trend. Yeah, like just give him like the guys episode.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate his enthusiasm, but I mean, I guess I always kind of saw him as an up and down sort of writer. Like, I mean, I always say, like, I mean, you know, you can be as fun loving as you want, but I mean, execution matters. And the fun loving writer who was my show stealer.
Dave Polsky.
So actually, yeah, probably. And I feel like his episodes, I mean, they're not only really fun and like fun loving, but they're also I don't want to say tightly written because that makes it sound like that almost does injustice to how sort of like breezy and just lighthearted they usually are. But I mean, like, yeah, that's Well, heck, that's usually the best kind of tightly written, where you don't even see the seams. And Conflow, I mean, yeah, love is enthusiasm as often as not, but even in his best episodes, I feel like you kind of do.
I mean, like, let's look at his first episode, for example. He actually wrote Pinkie Pie well in that episode in which the Yaks were just awful, terrible beings that shouldn't have existed around the time of season 5.
Yak
And
smash!
even convince us that it's about Pinkie Pie and not Twilight. He resorts to giving Pinkie Pie a totally separate subplot halfway through that goes all over the place and amounts to nothing, except that Pinkie Pie randomly says something after she finishes it. That is their excuse to tie that in. The moral is that we shouldn't try to make Equestria feel like your home. We should try to make you feel at home in Equestria. And I learned that in my subplot because it involved other ponies that helped me or something, I guess.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all why they would end up with like that sort of resolution for Pinkie to think of that as she was traveling. Yeah, it just but at least Pinkie Pie was enjoyable in that episode. That's
what I'm saying. Like he almost
always
manages to dig into at least something good. But yeah, like execution matters, darn it.
Yeah, execution does matter.
Getting back to this episode, maybe.
Hey, let him finish.
Yeah, like the Washouts overall, it's quite the enjoyable ride with some actually interesting side characters in which I totally would want to see fan art of, because honestly the Washouts themselves and personality are quite vibrant. Even
especially
more so
Short
than the
Fuse.
Wonderfuls.
Especially Short Fuse.
I'm definitely a fan of the color.
It's really a small version of Firebrand. I mean, what's not to love about that?
Wouldn't it be?
But,
I still think it'd be so funny. Wouldn't it be funny if you find out Short Fuse is like a cousin of
Big Daddy McColt.
Paul McColt.
Oh my god.
Oh my god! Oh my gosh! That would be like the greatest thing ever. Be like, I just did, like, here's my cousin Short Fuse. He's like, hey, Paul, and all of a sudden they could be like talking about the hot meals.
and it's like the reason why he doesn't mention him is because he's red. That's probably the explanation why.
That's why I said potential. That's why I say potential, or maybe potential distant cousin or something.
That would be entertaining.
That'd be hilarious, and they could just yell at each other. They could just yell trying to bring the McColts down. But then again, they're not really fighting anymore. But still, it'd still be hilarious though.
But
Jokes,
also
I feel that's another one. I feel like I've seen all the times I need to that the character overreacts that much.
Yes.
He's so mad about the sandwich.
That's funny.
The sandwich is terrible. I hate everything about the sandwich. No one touched that.
I'm not
He's
saying
like, I'm not
that
signing that abomination. Oh my god, he's just like so mad. He's so upset. Well, there's some people who get there are some people that get that upset. Well, just think of it this way. If there are people that upset to burn their sneakers because a certain company decides to put somebody as a spokesperson, then I'm sure there's somebody who will get that upset about a sandwich.
Mm-hmm. That's true in real life. Yeah,
I can easily imagine Short Fuse being a New Yorker.
Oh my gosh! Don't get him started. Don't get him started about sandwiches. But here's the thing: don't get him started about pizza. Oh boy! You know what? Actually, you know what? Get him started. You know what? Get him started on pizza. I want to see what happens.
Okay, here's an example from one of Short Fuse's food critic reviews on pizza.
It's Gordon Ramsay. It's Gordon Ramsay. That's what it is. It's Gordon Ramsay.
I was about to say, yeah.
It's Gordon freaking Ramsay. Oh my god. Just put Short Fuse's personality in a chef's pony. Boom. It's Gordon Ramsay pony. It's Gordon Ramsay pony. There you go.
Well, we already have Gordon Ramsay, but we have the consumer version of him.
Fair enough.
We already have a pony version of him in the show.
Yeah, enough about short fuse. Does anyone want to talk about Rolling Thunder? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
the
she
one,
looks
the one
cool.
that's like, now that's not a knife. Now that's a knife. The one Australian one.
okay.
I mean, that was a nice moment with her, for, among other reasons. That they showed that okay, no, these characters do get hurt and they do shrug it off. It's like, okay, yeah, it comes with the job. You stick it in stick an ice pack on it. You get a massage. You know,
I was actually thinking
you rub
about
ointment on those burns.
you know, that song Thunder.
Thunder, hear the thunder.
Lightning and the thunder.
All right, somebody pointed out, yeah, that's what thunder sounds like. No wonder that
Hey.
there are more epic rock songs out there.
Like there's also the other one, the 1.4.
Yeah, like that. Comparing the two, it's like, yeah, imagine if the thunder, hear the thunder started playing in that scene in Thor Ragnarok. That would be like,
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
nobody would have been intimidated.
But isn't Venus is still lime green the color of evil?
Lightning Dust isn't really lime green, is she?
No, but the Washouts suit and the lime green, what was that?
Lime
The
green
gas.
was black.
Yeah,
Okay,
or what
yeah.
it was, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I guess I'm evil.
Alright, well, I can tell that that's true.
Aww.
Okay, but yeah, like, it's honestly like the moments that are good here, even just hinting at what it could have been, like Lightning Dust, her frenemy moments with Rainbow Dash, and the good moments with Scootaloo, and heck, I mean, even the Matt Foley reference, as much as I want to say, oh look, he's being Nick Confalone again, like, I couldn't not be a little bit entertained by that. So I mean, like, I can't say I honestly had a bad time with this episode, and heck, maybe I'd be closer to Gator and Jenn if I could take his humor when it's just like when he's digging a bigger ditch with the no. They're that over the top. They're that silly. I'm like, okay. I feel like you're trying to get me to smoke a drug that lost its effect on me a long time ago. So, but I mean, like, even so, yeah, it passed the time. I'd probably at least score it in the C range. Season 8. I mean, as much as I would want to say, like, yeah, for season 8, that's one of the better ones. Like even that probably, at least on my card, isn't true. Season 8 is, well, okay, I won't mention it's the lowest season by far on my card as of now, but yeah, like it still gave me a handful of like B grade episodes. So call it like you see it.
Ooh, just yeah. I was sort of looking in. That's what I meant by like anticipation. Like this was literally what I felt like was Wonderbolt Academy Part Deuce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deuce indeed. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. I know I got reined in whatever negativity, but still couldn't resist. You made it too easy.
I know. I know how to line them up, hook, line, and sinker.
Yep.
I also like to have them make a petition of like Rolling Thunder for actually good pony waifu of the week instead of like whatever we have in season 6.
What kind of masochist are you if you want Rolling Thunder as your wife?
You want to roll in the hay?
That accent, though.
Roll in the hay with Rolling Thunder.
Day Lover is our sweet, smiling, secretly evil pony.
Yay!
That's a good one, Day Lover. That's another good one there. But still, what kind of masochist are you if you want that for? You want Rolling Thunder for your wife? Who is just somebody who likes the pain.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
like, yeah, I
other
remember. It's like, yeah, I remember. I remember this time in Vegas. Never mind. Never mind.
No.
Never mind.
So
Never mind.
any other final thoughts in this episode?
Wish they could have other than wish they could have they could have done something a little different with the fact of Scootaloo growing up. Having lightning dust back, kind of I don't know what to think about having lightning dust back, but an idea of having like those who washed out of the Wonder Bolts have their own thing, but I don't know, something a little. Just wish lightning dust wasn't really involved in it, because I'm like, if she's involved, this can't be good. But other than that, I'm gonna have to say this is a good and actually really good episode. Just a good one. That's it.
I'd like to point out that Twilight actually had an interesting part in this episode, like being a little fangirl for the Washouts, because
that was kind of fun.
That was actually a really nice character quirk from her this episode. Just her actually being entertained by the Washouts through watching an autograph. You don't really see that. You don't really see that of her outside of like the academics and the magic incline.
You don't see her fangirling, and that's it, except over like books or if she would Star Swirl. But it is different seeing her just kind of fangirl about anything else.
Yeah,
on that note, why did they pick Twilight of all characters?
I mean, she's been
needed somebody to. They needed somebody. They needed somebody because Twilight's usually the voice of reason, and they needed somebody for Rainbow Dash to be like et tu.
Yeah.
Well, they needed someone else to follow. They needed someone else to follow Rainbow Dash around, so it was either Twilight or Fluttershy.
And the fact that Fluttershy is even in the credits for this episode, yeah, I think I know what they chose with.
Yeah. It could have been like really interesting if we found out like Fluttershy was a fan of the Washouts. Actually,
that would be funny.
Ours getting her not.
Honestly, I felt that would have been more entertaining than Twilight. Because Twilight is like, oh, it's a thing. Because Fluttershy, the two people closest to sort of Rainbow Dash is Scootaloo and Fluttershy. So it makes more sense that she would be get a little upset more, like if like their two best friends are like fangirling over like some other group. Is like, yeah, I mean, her ego is big, but I would feel insecure too at that point, or something like that.
Yes.
Although, like Fluttershy, if she gets too scared to watch Trixie's act, that would be. I mean, that could be a pretty funny joke. It would be a hard sell, though. Like you'd have to time it well.
True. Yeah. Very, very true.
Fluttershy is scared the first time, and then Rainbow Dash, I don't know, is going to her house to fret, and then finds her leaving to go watch the Washout show. What? What can I say? They grew on me.
Okay.
I do like it how it turned from like obviously Rainbow Dash is jealous now that she doesn't have her number one fan, but then later on it turned into like her being actually concerned for Scootaloo's welfare.
Yeah.
Again, if they want to focus down the moral to like ditch the ego thing and focus more on the relationship of Scootaloo and Rainbow Dash.
Yeah.
And Scootaloo's
the ego thing felt so dragged out of the closet. It felt like it was a non-compete clause, like it was in every trait through the motions conflict of opinion. Like I almost wish instead of I could see a couple of gags about it, like DC said before, sure, throw that in there, it's her trait if you have good jokes, but like I almost wish that part of the episode had been like, instead, not that she's afraid she's going to lose her fangirl, but that she's afraid she's going to lose her little sister.
Mm-hmm.
That I think could have, yeah. Well, you said it, been stronger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just overall capitalizing on the huge amount of missed opportunities this episode presents.
But I liked most of it, and I really think like there were passages that hit me with the that she couldn't fly and stuff like that. So I think like there was some good morals there. It's just like a lot in once.
The Veronica is just like looking through the feed just to see, like, and see like what Fluttershy's reaction was to the show, and like the only like reaction we got is like when they looks like the one lightning dust is that actually no, that doesn't make sense. It looks like lightning dust was the one that was almost crushed, but it was the other one that got the injury.
Maybe they switched out in last second.
Who
knows?
But I was going back to Fluttershy's reaction. I said it was so funny because like her seems like, oh, like Fluttershy couldn't handle so like it's so funny because like she seems like the most timid of the reactions. Like everyone else looks like horrified that she was crushed, and Fluttershy just basically like she's her reaction is just like holding the hoof over her mouth is like, oh my. That's what it looks. So like everyone else is like mouths agape, literally.
Nature is so fascinating.
That is like the best. Like that is the best panel from the comics. Period.
It's so fascinating. My God, it's coming right for us.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, it's coming right for us.
So yeah, but yeah, anyway, any other closing thoughts?
Nothing really.
I'm good.
Nope.
I'm Gucci.
Only.
G-Main?
What is it? I think only, I guess, 6 more episodes because is it 25 or 26 we end at?
No. Right now it's 5 episodes.
Yeah, counting the 2-parter as 1, it's 5.
I mean, like they are 2 parts to it, so it is 6 with the 2-parter. All right,
6.
That's right.
All right, but yeah, I guess see y'all next time.
Yeah.
Good night, every pony.